The Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, has been helping commercial and industrial contractors and suppliers grow since 1885. Now's the time to join. Visit buildwithcam.com. If you're a construction company looking to grow, CAM offers resources to help you build your staff, find more projects, and expand your network. Join today. The Construction Association of Michigan. They're one industry, one resource, one CAM. Join today at buildwithcam.com.
Today's episode of CAM's Building Michigan podcast is sponsored by Priority Health, endorsed health insurance carrier for CAM members.
So right now, we've all been feeling lots of shifts in our lives. We've gone from crazy busy schedules to way more time with our loved ones, from commuting to the office to working from our couches. And that's okay, because Priority Health is always ready to shift right there with you. So whether you're experiencing a shift in employment or you're prepping for a new member of the family to arrive, Priority Health has you covered. Priorities shift, so maybe it's time your health insurance company did too. Find your plan at PriorityHealth.com.
It's that time of year. Time to review your workers' compensation plan and shift to coverage that pays you back. CAMCOMP, part of the Construction Association of Michigan, is the state's leading self-insured group designed for the construction industry. The safer your employees, the more money you get back. The average payback to members is 45% of their premium, a very smart investment. Find out how safety pays with CAMCOMP. Call Juan Ramirez at 586-790-7810 or go to www.camcomp.net.
Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of CAM's Building Michigan podcast, produced for Michigan's construction industry by the Construction Association of Michigan, CAM. My name is Kevin Koehler. I'm the president of CAM and your host for Building Michigan. Our podcast is designed for Michigan's construction industry. Each 20 to 30-minute episode will feature conversations with industry leaders discussing construction projects, trends, business development, workforce, safety, legislation, products, equipment, and other industry-related topics. All right, let's get to it. Season 1, Episode 4. We're super excited to have with us today two key players from Priority Health Insurance, CAM's endorsed health insurance carrier, and also a major sponsor of our Building Michigan podcast. Today we welcome Tom Spring, MS, Director of Wellness and Wellbeing for Priority Health Employer Solutions, and Rob Walters, Sales and Client Service Executive with Priority Health. Guys, welcome to today's podcast.
Thank you, Kevin.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Glad to have you. We really appreciate both of you being here, and I think there's a lot of trepidation with employers now bringing their employees back into the office. There's trepidation from the employees. The employers are concerned they provide a safe environment, a healthy environment. They keep their employees motivated and happy. And of course, the employees are coming back a little apprehensive and worried about moving back into a work environment. So, Tom, I think we'll start with you. We'll ask you a few questions, really along the lines of employee health and what Priority Health is recommending, or what some best practices are that you see when you're bringing employees back into the workforce. So, I guess my first question would be, what are employers' concerns with employees returning to work after such an extended work-from-home hiatus?
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. It's it's obviously very top of mind right now, and making sure that as people come back into an office environment, there are concerns. You mentioned safety and cleanliness, and obviously some of the COVID precautions and so forth are top of mind for employers, and that's a big part of it. But when you start thinking about what employees have gone through in the last year and a half, and so forth, there is apprehension to come back. Employers want to make sure that they're people are still engaged and that they're productive and that they're doing their jobs, and coming back into an office environment where you can see them every day, and they've got to commute, and they've got to get dressed every day for work, and put on pants and so forth. No more PJs and shorts with a tie on top, and it's going to be a different shift again for employees, and I think employers want to make sure that people feel comfortable. But that they're also going to come in and be ready to work and have those work habits that they did before.
So that's a perfect lead into my next question. So as we bring our employees back in, as the employer brings the employees back in, what can they do to make a better work environment for the employee? I mean, what are you guys recommending? What types of things can be done?
Yeah, so I think employers need to make sure that obviously workstations and so forth are, COVID compliant, and that's kind of a no-brainer, and people are doing that, and spaces are changing, work environments are changing. From my perspective, keeping people healthy is really important, and that's been something we've been working on for a long time. But even now, and more so now, with having worked at home for over a year for many people, we're seeing a lot of mental health concerns, a lot of isolation issues. I hear on meetings a lot. I've been in my basement for a year and a half, and it's kind of weird to come out and so forth. So, so making sure that there's good social engagement, making sure that your employees feel safe and comfortable, and giving them some, health and well-being resources that they can lean on if they are feeling, stressed or apprehensive about coming back, or they've gained some weight, or one issue that we're seeing a lot in the industry is, more reliance on substances and drinking and drugs and so forth as a coping mechanism. And so, Priority Health and others other resources are out there for people to help with those things, to help you lose weight, to help you with your stress. And we have a program called My Strength, and that's a sort of a mental health support program all the way up to, counseling and true mental health resources, one-on-one sort of brick and mortar programs. So we recommend that employers don't ignore that, and that they deal with those things, because it's important.
Like if an employer sees a troubled employee or anticipates somebody having some issues, how do you handle that? Do you pull the employee aside and offer them some resources through Priority Health?
Yeah, absolutely you can. And I think it's a delicate conversation, and kind of a check-in and how you doing, and you can get a sense if somebody is very stressed or disengaged and distant or nervous or fidgety or make some reference to the fact that they don't feel comfortable at work and so forth, and refer them to to Priority Health. And we have a lot of online resources. You can learn a lot more about resources that are available to them on our website and so forth, but also refer them to their physician and their providers. They have a lot of good resources as well that are being leaned on and should be leaned on, because we need to make sure that people coming back to work feel good about it and that they're comfortable.
Yeah, that kind of led into my next question, which was, when you see a troubled employee, or you can tell someone is stressed out about coming back, how do you kind of deal with that as an employer? And I think maybe pulling them aside and maybe doing a little work, or contacting you or contacting Rob or some from Priority Health in advance, and knowing who you can send them to and what resources are available to offer the employee would be really important to do as well.
Absolutely. Counseling and there's been a long-standing stigma about mental health, and sort of the headspace people come back to work in is going to be very important to deal with. And there's a lot of resources out there, and they're definitely being used, which is a good thing. But it also shows that there's a high level of need, and that's important for employers to leverage and use and understand and be okay with. Giving people time and giving people a little bit of time to acclimate back into the office environment is going to be very important for their success.
For sure. So, Tom, if in advance of me bringing back my employees, and I'm a Priority Health subscriber, obviously, we endorse you guys, and we know many of our members also have Priority Health, and we encourage all of our members listening out there to at least look at Priority Health as an option. They're a great company, and they provide a fantastic insurance program to our employees. But I guess my question would be, do you, if I called you, could you come in and either, maybe counsel's not the right word, but help us with a few programs, or could you offer some programs as the employees come back? Maybe we offer them something on, proper eating or wellness of the mind. Do you guys offer some of that kind of stuff? Or
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned some of the online resources. We have a great wellness hub where there are stress management resources, digital resources, things you can engage in on your own, and it's sort of self-directed on your own time. Certainly, programs around exercise and nutrition and weight management and smoking cessation if you've picked up smoking while you were at home, things like that. And of course, we can come in and talk about those things and lead discussion groups or lead educational seminars and sessions that we can do online, or we can do in person as well. And we've got a ton of resources out there, and we pride ourselves on not just offering insurance, but helping people wherever they are in their health and well-being, and certainly providing those resources to your teams is very much available.
That's a great philosophy and a great way to approach, I think, the whole situation. You mentioned a hub of resources or the website. Can you give us the website address? Do you know it offhand? Or
Yeah, so
put you on the spot.
so just priorityhealth.com and
Okay.
log into your member portal so
Okay.
members can get in. And then there are different resources out there. There's the Wellbeing Hub that every member has access to, and you don't have to log in again or do anything. You just find the link and click to it, and then you'll open up a wealth of resources that you can access, which is great.
Terrific. Yeah, that's great. You know, it's Rob, from my perspective, it's great to be with Priority Health, and I think you guys offer a lot of fantastic services. And in the few meetings that I've had, you know, some of these resources like Tom is talking about are absolutely critical and crucial. And you don't necessarily think of that when you think of healthcare. You think about, you know, going to the doctor and you know, you've got your co-pays or whatever. You don't think about all the ancillary support activities that Priority Health also offers that is a real value-added product to the employer and to the employee, you know.
Absolutely.
For sure. Can you think of anything else, Tom, that you want to cover? Did I miss, I'm trying to think of a few things here. Is there?
Yeah, you know, I think one thing that a lot of employers are looking at doing and have implemented is, you know, to get people slowly reacclimated. You know, habits build over time, right? And so if you've been working from home for a year and a half, you're used to multitasking and doing the laundry while you're on a conference call or whatever, you know,
Sure.
and you know, walking around your house and, you know, those kinds of things. So many employers are looking at kind of hybrid models too. So you maybe work in the office a day, 2-3 days a week, and then you have some flexibility for remote work if that's, you know, possible in your environment. And obviously every industry and every environment and office is a little different, but that can help because it gives people a little more comfort to kind of get back into the groove, if you will, and, you know, recommute and, you know, make sure they have the right clothing and appearance and
Yeah.
you know, all those things that we sometimes
Slowly
take for
phase
granted.
back, yeah.
That we take for granted at home, right?
Sure.
If the camera's off and you haven't brushed your hair in a couple days or whatever, that's okay.
Does mine look that bad?
No, you
Rob,
look,
you don't
you look
have to
good
worry
today, right?
So, you know, that's interesting, and those are fantastic points that we often don't think about. And it's nice to know that Priority Health has those resources for us to take advantage of. And in fact, I'm looking at, my staff is coming back here next week, and we're looking at a hybrid model. So we're going to allow them to work from home maybe 4 days a month, and as long as it's scheduled with the manager and we know where everybody's at. And you know, we were a type of company, it's kind of interesting, and I won't go into this too much, but we didn't have a ton of laptops. Some of our field people had laptops, or our salespeople. But a lot of our staff worked right at their desk. In our news operation, they all had towers with monitors and everything, and you try to get all those home and then all those back and reset up. One of the light bulbs that went off for myself and our management staff here is that we're now transitioning everything to laptops. Hopefully this doesn't happen again, and it comes to an end here rather soon. But that's something that we learned as an organization, that we probably should, as we go through our purchase programs for new computers, stick with the laptops because they're way more flexible for us and our employees.
Yeah, and I think that brings up a good point because early on, I think there was an assumption that people who are working from home were not as productive maybe as they were from the office. And if you set them up right and you give them the right equipment and tools and the right support, people can be very productive and have been. And so many companies are finding that a hybrid model or a partially remote model, or, you know, looking at different ways to support their workforce is really effective, and it makes people more productive and it eases some of the anxiety that people are going to have around maybe childcare or, you know, things that they're getting used to doing at home and sort of a different routine, and logging back in at 8 o'clock after dinner is normal now, right? So as opposed to leaving the office at 5 o'clock and then checking in again at 8, people are working at different hours, but still very productive. And so I think supporting that sort of in this new way of approaching a workforce and supporting employees is going to be very important. And I think that, you know, life as we knew it as a 9-to-5 punch clock kind of environment is all but over.
Yeah, it's really strange, especially for us old school guys that have been around for a long time, you know, and you work 8 to 5 and you're like, what do you mean you're going to, you know, work from home today?
Right.
But I totally get it. The light bulb's going off with me, and I think with a lot of our members too, that we need to adapt and adjust, and we need to, in order to attract and retain key employees, we need to, go with the flow, be on the cutting edge. And the construction industry in general isn't always on the cutting edge. We're a little more conservative in adapting change, but I think this has been forced on us, and from what I'm understanding and what I'm hearing, our members are doing a pretty good job of powering through it. So,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
Tom, thanks for all your input today. This has been excellent. You're going to stick around when we talk to Rob, too, right? So feel
Absolutely.
free. Rob's sitting over here quiet. He can pipe in anytime he wants and add his 2 cents. So feel free to jump in anytime. Okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
For sure. Thank you very much. Thanks, Tom. And now on to Rob. Rob, I've got a couple questions for you about Priority Health and
Sure.
the insurance program itself. A lot of my employers will ask me, or employers will ask, maybe they're a smaller employer, 5 employees, 6 employees, 3 employees, and they'll ask me if we're able to write them as a health, if Priority Health is able to write their health insurance. So what are the size limitations? What size group do you need to qualify for the Priority Health program?
So, Kevin, generally for our programs are available for groups of 2 or more employees, and according to the Affordable Care Act, at least one of those employees has to be a common law employee. In other words, someone who's not the owner or the spouse of the owner. So we can't write a husband and wife, but we can write father and son, or mother and daughter, or daughter and son, or brothers and sisters, and that sort of thing. So it can be a very small group. And I've worked with the members of the Construction Association for almost 15 years, and many of your members are in that area where they're a smaller employer, and they kind of struggle with health insurance because it's difficult to get the attention they need to get a plan in place. But our plans go all the way down to 2 employees, and all the value-added benefits that Tom mentioned earlier are available to employers of all sizes.
Sure, and that kind of leads to my next question about what the employer can do to leverage health insurance as a recruiting and retention tool for their employees.
Well, I think in today's environment with hiring and finding quality employees being so difficult today, I think that making the insurance benefits available to them as soon as possible is a good retention tool and a good recruiting tool. In the old days, employers made employees wait as much as 6 months before they got insurance, and it was almost punitive to that point. I often talk to employers and say, hey, when do you know that someone's going to work out? And I was working with a company up north that was a grain elevator, and the HR person said that usually they know by the end of lunch on the first day, because either they come back or they don't. But to that point, the sooner you can put the person on your insurance, the better chance you're going to have of retaining them, because if you're making them wait 90 days and they find a job where they're going to make a couple more bucks a month or a week, they're going to leave. They have nothing holding them there.
Yeah, that I wasn't aware of. I thought it was, we have 90 days here at CAM, and I thought it was a straight 90 days. It's nice to know that there is some flexibility there, so you don't have to pay for maybe a new employee's COBRA, that's part of the deal, or
right.
At least. So, Rob, explain to me, too, I know that we have a lot of agents that are members of CAM, and a lot of our members have existing insurance agents. They can sell the Priority Health program as well, right?
That's correct.
They get in touch with you, and then you would go out and work with the agent.
Right.
Can they get in touch with you directly as well?
They can, or they can call our small business area, or they can call the Construction Association office and have them, referred back out to me. In fact, I just talked with one of your members over in Grand Haven yesterday, who actually is a Priority Health client, and I was able to get their agent involved and help with some cost-saving alternatives that may be beneficial to them.
Oh, awesome! There you go. There's a good tip for anybody who currently has us and needs to look is comparing or shopping insurances. I mean, you're willing to step up and help out too.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what Priority Health does to help the employer, maintain or predict healthcare costs. How to keep costs in line.
Well, one of the big things in health insurance today and healthcare in general is people talk a lot about transparency. I often say that when I pull into the gas station, I know what I'm going to pay per gallon before I even get up to the pump. But if I go to the pharmacy or I go to the doctor's office or I'm having some sort of procedure done, I have no idea what that cost is going to be. I don't know if that prescription is going to cost me $15 or it's going to cost me $1,500. So we have a tool called the Cost Estimator, and working along with our mobile app, members are actually able to get information on the cost of prescription drugs and the cost of specific procedures from specific providers as they pertain to their plan. So it would show, a kind of a glaring example where you can save a lot of money from a cost standpoint is for diagnostic tests like MRIs and CAT scans and things of that nature. If you have those performed in a hospital setting, it's far more expensive than if you have it done in at a freestanding facility that specializes in doing those types of tests.
That's an excellent tip, and it's nice to know. So is that when let's say when the employee goes into the portal, that's all there, right? Cost estimator for them as well, so
That's
they can
correct.
check and see if they can get a better deal on.
Right, all those items like Cost Estimator. And another thing we have that goes along with Cost Estimator is a program called Priority Rewards, where if you use a provider that charges below market cost, you actually get a reward. We send you a Visa gift card anywhere from $50 to $250, depending on the type of test you're having done.
That's excellent information for our employees out there too. And if the employee takes those steps, not only are they potentially saving themselves some money, but they're certainly saving the employer some money too. So it's a great resource that Priority is offering. We just need to drive we need to educate the employer so he can drive or she can drive the employees to
right and
check that out.
And we put out a lot of information to the employers, and I would strongly suggest any employer that uses our services have their agent come in and do an employee meeting, or one of our field reps can come in and help with an employee meeting where we can introduce these items that are available to the members that can help contain their costs and help them make their kind of supercharge their plan. Tom said earlier that insurance is kind of viewed as a transactional business. So I go to the doctor and I pay my $35 and I get my I get a COVID test or whatever. But let's not have any of those. But no, it gives them an opportunity to be more engaged with their health insurance and help control the cost and kind of their destiny in terms of what they're paying in out-of-pocket expenses.
So I think we touched on this quite a bit here in the last couple of minutes. But give me a reason why a small or a medium size, well, let's just say a CAM employer should consider Priority Health as their insurance provider.
Well,
other than being a great company and better rates.
Well, of course, that goes without saying. But we offer a wide range of plan designs and options to fit any employer. You can offer multiple plans under certain circumstances. We have great network access. Over 97% of the primary care doctors and hospitals participate with our program. We also offer outstanding customer service and pricing. We have a new program that we recently introduced called Optimized Level Funding, which can deliver lower rates than a traditionally fully insured plan and allows employers to share in their group's good experience by returning a portion of unused claim dollars to the employer at the end of the plan year. So if you are a group that has above average health and low claims, that might be a great opportunity for you to save a few bucks on your insurance premiums.
And that's called the level fund?
It's called Optimized Level Funded.
Perfect.
For some groups, from a preventive standpoint, obviously cost savings comes from people being healthy, right? And so for some of the larger groups, any group 50 or over, and there's some restrictions in terms of data sharing and so forth for some smaller groups, but for some of your larger employers, consider a comprehensive type of wellness program, because these are programs we can help you design and manage and run at Priority Health, and they have long-term benefits from a health risk prevention standpoint, which obviously is good for keeping those claims down and making sure that your costs stay lower,
yeah,
right? Reversing that trend.
For sure, and it's also good for the employee because we're trying to keep them healthier. Maybe we're introducing them to some new healthier lifestyles and working with them to stay healthy. So it gets everybody kind of buying in, rowing the boat in the same direction, right?
Cost is only one piece of it, right? Healthier employees are more productive. They take less sick days. They're more loyal to your company. They do a lot more. It does a lot more for you than just save money. It's a lot of those softer benefits, if you will, that those value-add programs give.
So healthcare, as we mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily think of it as a retention tool, but it really can be a retention tool if you
Absolutely.
take advantage of all of the resources, especially the resources that Priority Health has to offer.
100%.
Any other value-added benefits you can think of, Rob, that you want to mention about the priority program?
Well, this kind of pertains to not only our current group customers, but any potential group customers. Some things that we have that are unique to the health insurance industry, particularly in the small group arena, is for certain chronic conditions, we offer coverage before the deductible on our qualified high deductible health plans for such conditions as asthma, diabetes, and heart conditions, which allows the employee, rather than having to meet their deductible before they have any compensable claims under those qualified high deductible health plans, to get the treatment they need, again, to help keep them healthy and maintain their those chronic conditions. Some other things that we do, and we've mentioned this before, is our mobile app. And one of the really cool things on our mobile app is it actually produces our ID card, which they can print off their computer, they can print from their phone, because I guess you can do that these days. But also provides coverage documents and tells you specifically what the cost of certain services would be. So you can look up, hey, I'm going to a specialist today. How much is that going to be? What's my copay going to be? I'm going to my regular primary care doctor. What's my copay going to be? I'm having a test and that sort of thing. So you can see all those costs that are specific to your plan, which people like to know up front. You know, that people don't like surprises.
Sure.
When they're getting health. There's enough anxiety when you're going to the doctor that you don't need a surprise when it comes down to paying for it.
2 weeks later when you're at home.
Right. Well, you know, and the other thing too, from an employer perspective, you know, I'm sure you get your members are aware there's a lot of regulation and that sort of thing. There's also regulation that impacts health insurance, such things as COBRA and Health Savings Account Administration. We provide free COBRA administration to all our clients that qualify for COBRA or have to offer COBRA. And we also, for people with high deductible health plans, we also offer free HSA administration, along with Assist America, which is a travel assistance program. And one of the big things that has become very popular during the pandemic is virtual visits, and we offer those at zero cost.
Yeah, actually, some of my employees, I think, including our producer's mom, has taken advantage of that. And
it's a great benefit.
Yeah, that is a great benefit. That's for sure. It definitely saves you money and time too.
No doubt. Who
For
wants
sure.
to wait in a crowded ER
With
or
people
office?
coughing and
Yeah,
all around you.
Exactly.
Just do it at home on your iPhone. It's unbelievable. So where can people get more information, Rob, about Priority Health and the plan offerings that we offer the CAM membership?
We do most of our business through independent agents, so feel free to contact your independent agent for information on Priority Health, or call our small business area at 800-471-2504. Or, of course, you can check us out online at priorityhealth.com, and if you don't want to do any of that, call the CAM office. And they can
just
point
call
you in
me
the right
and I can point you to the right person.
Call Kevin's cell phone.
Yeah, or not. No, you can. Anytime. Any member can call me anytime. They know that. So, hey, guys, Rob, Tom, any parting words of wisdom for our members before we land this program?
I would say take advantage of every opportunity that's presented to you in terms of promoting wellness, not only for yourself but for your employees as well, because a healthy workforce is a happy workforce, is of course a productive workforce, and that makes everybody's life a little bit easier.
Yeah, I would just echo that and remind everybody that, you know, being well is important to all of us and your families and everybody at work. So be safe, be well, and you know, get out and exercise.
All right, I love it. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Rob, for being with us today. On behalf of myself and the entire CAM membership, we really enjoyed our time. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, Kevin.
Thank you for listening to Building Michigan, the official podcast of the Construction Association of Michigan, hosted by Kevin Koehler, CAM President. We appreciate you spending a part of your day with us. If you have a second, please share our podcast with industry colleagues, leave us a review, and connect with us at www.buildwithcam.com. That's all for now. Be sure to subscribe to Building Michigan wherever you get your podcasts, and join us for the next episode.
Today's episode of CAM's Building Michigan podcast is sponsored by Priority Health, endorsed health insurance carrier for CAM members.
So right now, we've all been feeling lots of shifts in our lives. We've gone from crazy busy schedules to way more time with our loved ones, from commuting to the office to working from our couches. And that's okay, because Priority Health is always ready to shift right there with you. So whether you're experiencing a shift in employment or you're prepping for a new member of the family to arrive, Priority Health has you covered. Priorities shift, so maybe it's time your health insurance company did too. Find your plan at PriorityHealth.com.
It's that time of year. Time to review your workers' compensation plan and shift to coverage that pays you back. CamComp, part of the Construction Association of Michigan, is the state's leading self-insured group designed for the construction industry. The safer your employees, the more money you get back. The average payback to members is 45% of their premium, a very smart investment. Find out how safety pays with CamComp. Call Juan Ramirez at 586-790-7810 or go to www.camcomp.net.
The Construction Association of Michigan, CAM, has been helping commercial and industrial contractors and suppliers grow since 1885. They provide contractors leadership through aggressive lobbying, construction project reporting, safety and education training, industry promotion, insurance, and banking. Are you an owner, developer, or buyer of construction services? Hire a CAM member to get your project done on time and under budget. They are one industry, one resource, one CAM. Check them out at buildwithcam.com.